morning, everyone. Happy Thursday, February. Oh my God.
Wow, stop rushing time.
Oh, December 22nd, 2022. It's 12/22/22. That's
Wow. Oh my, we should play
It
that
means
number.
anything, but it's cool. It's cool to look at. So 12/22/22. Welcome everyone to Viva Cafe con Leche. I am the badass Buddha, Lori Monaco, coming to you from. It looks like it's going to snow here in southern Connecticut, but it's actually not going to. It's like passing way north. So upstate New York and I think upper Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, they're all going to get snow. But it's got that look, like that gray, that gray look. And I haven't been outside, and maybe it'll smell like snow. But it's supposed to miss us. We're supposed to just get rain, I think, later today and tomorrow. And then this weekend, it's supposed to be dreadfully cold. Are you supposed to get that cold front as well?
Yes, they said it's supposed to be like 40s, very low 40s for
Wow.
Christmas Eve, Christmas. And here it's like 20s over there. It's like a whole different world of cold. But it was chilly last night when I got out of work. It was chilly this morning. So yeah, I love when it changes. We only get like 2 seasons here in Florida. It's either cold or it's always Hell's Waiting Room. So you gotta like really get into the loving and being able to wear a scarf. But then all it does is makes me miss home more. I miss home all the time. I meet people who are from up north here, Jersey, Philly, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and they're like, "Oh, I'll never go back. I love this Florida. I love the heat." And I'm looking at them like, "You're stupid. Why am I talking to you?"
You're stupid.
Because, like, and
I
I
love
say, yes,
compassion. You're stupid.
yeah, I get it, because when I was back home taking care of mom, I'm like, how did I survive 40 years of these winters? But then when you go walk down memory lane and you remember throwing the hot water on your door handle.
Oh my God, remember, because you couldn't get in. Oh, those are the days.
And wiping the snow off your windshield, and leaving for work when it was still dark, but you went because the snow just brought you a little much closer to heaven, when you just would listen to that 5 o'clock snowfall, and you can like hear every snowflake fall. I mean, those are things you can't get anywhere else unless you live in a place of 4 seasons. But all that to say, I miss back home during these months. I really do. Carmencita, Gail, good morning. Look at her. She said, "I have some time for you." Thank you, Your Highness. Thank you. I must say that when that little jig starts playing, it gets me so super excited. I love that video clip that goes on before we do.
I know.
I love the way we present ourselves before we present ourselves. All the many faces and changes. Edie, how are you? So yeah, I think I'm just happy today. It's my day off. I'm gonna roast some coffee. Once I get the thing, I'm going to announce my Keurigs. I already started. Yesterday, I got 4 orders for my Keurig cups of my Ethiopian and my. So yeah.
Good morning to Kathy's on. Wanda's on. Good morning. Edith's on. You said hi to Gail.
Tiffany Bryan.
Tiffany Bryan is in the house. So good morning, everyone, and we're happy that you're here. And listen, this is great. We have a lot of people jumping on today, so we would like to remind you to like, share, follow, subscribe. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, we would love for you to do that. We would love to see our YouTube presence really increase for 2023. And we would just love for you to share. So whenever you jump on, it takes just a moment to copy and then paste it and say, I'm live, like this is what I'm watching right now, just to get more people out there. I do want to give a special shout out to Gail, because I've been doing, even though I haven't been able to get on regularly. Gail is beta testing a program that she created, and it's really fabulous. It's just this was just like the wrong week just because of everything with my dad's wake and funeral. So, but I jumped on yesterday, and it was so nice to be on there. And so it's really, she's doing such a great job. So I do want to shout that out to her. And if you could indulge me, I just want to say some based on what we are going to be talking about today. Today's going to be, we're still celebrating self. That's what December is all about, and keeping it simple. And you had said you're in a good mood today, and as am I. And the thing is, it's like yesterday was my dad's wake, and today's the funeral, and so I people sometimes get weirded out when you're in a really good space when something like this is happening. I think the reason I'm in a better space today, like you are saying, you're in a good mood, is that last night at the wake, it was very interesting to see who came to be there for my dad. My dad's touched so many lives, and there were a lot of people that didn't show up, and I think part of it could be there's people that are sick, there's people that it's the holidays, it's getting close, they couldn't get time off. Maybe they'll come today, maybe they couldn't come at night. But we grew up in a neighborhood that was really tight, like people, we used to have block parties. We had them for years. My dad was in charge of all the games for the kids and the adult games. Then they would have Christmas parties, just the adults. And my father was like just one of those involved people. And we had so many people show up, like kids from the neighborhood that are not kids anymore. They're either my age or above. And it was so nice to see people just show up because they loved my dad so much. And and it was really endearing, like, to see that, I mean, I hadn't seen some of those people in years, and it was just so cool to like we had people walking in from the Boy Scouts. My dad used to be, he
Oh
used to
my
be
God.
a leader, but then even when he wasn't a troop leader, the Boy Scouts used to come into our basement and make Christmas wreaths for years. Even when he wasn't a troop leader, he just gave up the space because we had the space for it. So it was just very cool, and it aligns with keeping it simple, because my dad wasn't really a complicated guy. He just was. He loved doing things for people, and he loved being needed, and he liked helping. He donated a lot of his time. He was a volunteer at the Bridgeport school system, helping with reading and math for many years, with kids in, I think it was 4th grade or something like that, maybe 3rd. He volunteered with the Special Olympics. And it's like, so it was just a beautiful reminder, like the stories that were being shared by people of their memories of my dad. And it was just very cool, and so it was, for me to wake up in this morning and not feel very humbled and happy about that life that was lived. I would be the one making things complicated, right? So if we're talking about keeping it simple, I'm the one who would be making things complicated. So, but I just thank you for indulging me and letting me share that. I appreciate
No,
it.
that's beautiful. We got to celebrate. Buenos dias, milagro. As humans, we're always asked backwards, right? But we celebrate the birth of a child, not knowing there's nothing. It's just that happy, unconditional love moment that a child is born into this world. It's not taken into consideration that there's no savings account to cover this kid, at least for the first 3 years of their lives. We're hoping. We take a leap of faith for this, and we carry on. And then when somebody who's lived a full life, whether they walked in their purpose, whether they attempted it, whether, their purpose became the purpose of those surrounded by them, sharing it with love. And then they pass, and we feel such a profound sadness. And I think we should celebrate both. And you honoring it the way that you just said is beautiful. And a lot of people can't say that, especially with today being the funeral, right? Like after the show is the farewell. But with the 3 close deaths that I've experienced, what you find is as long as you carry them in your heart, they never truly die. And you can always talk about them, and you get through it. And thank you for that, because that was beautiful. Because when we all go through it, in that moment, we don't think about it the way you just explained it. We're either angry, hurt, or,
Good morning to welcome Tanya M. Morgan Holland. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for that, Gladiator Guru. I appreciate that. So we missed on Tuesday. We didn't do our mantra. We didn't set our intention. So let's do that really quickly. And then we want to bring on a former guest as our small business brag. And then we'll start talking about keeping things simple. So let's set our intention for today. And I always think of carbon. Let's be intentional. So here on Viva Cafe con Leche, just reminding you to set your intention for whatever that may be and just go through your day being intentional.
And grateful. Do everything you do in gratitude, whether you like it or not. Be graceful and grateful.
Oh, graceful and grateful. I like that. Lovely. All right, let's do our mantra. Say it loud, say it proud, shout it out if you can. But if you can't, just say it quietly to yourself and own it today. Ready? Here we go. I am a disruptor.
I am a disruptor.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am magically orgasmic.
Ole.
And I am beyond authentic.
And I keep it real.
And I think we're gonna change that last piece because I'm in agreement with you, Gladiator Guru. I think it's overused. So we'll have to, maybe we'll bring that out for 2023, a new end to that mantra, something, because everything else is so very powerful. And
because everybody's authentic now, right? Everybody's authentic, and there's so many other words that are being overused. It's like taking a piece of gum, chewing it till the flavor wears out, then sticking it in your ear until you get bored and putting it back in your mouth. Yes. So who do we have today? Who do we have that's going to...
Good morning, Lydia. Lydia's
last minute gifts. Hola, Lydia. Last minute, important, specific, great cause gifts. So we have
our lovely friend, Danessa.
For the holiday.
Shall we bring her on, Gladiator Guru, or you want to?
Yes, let's bring her on.
Here she is, Danessa in the house.
Hi, beautiful.
Unmute yourself, my love. You're muted.
There we go. Hi, everyone.
There you go. All right, girl, you got 5 minutes to brag about your business, and we're going to put your link up there. So let everybody know for those last minute gifts what they can get from you, and may not make it in time for Christmas, but that's all right, because we know we always still hit parties afterwards. So you can always get, just, if you're given that last minute gift and you're not ready, just say the check is in the mail to the people. Say, oh, I ordered it, but it didn't come in yet.
All right. So I am the proud owner of Level Up Candles, and we are a soy-based candle company. So all of our candles are made out of soy wax. Everything we use in them are organic. There is no artificial preservatives in there. All of our candles are white, so you will not find anything in color. And the reason for that is because we don't want to add any pesticides or anything to the candles, because it does affect like the chemical balance of it and the smell and how it burns and all of that beautiful stuff. We have 3 different types of candles. So we have our 8-ounce candles. There we go. Can you guys see me? All right, there we go.
Yes.
8-ounce candles. They are single wick candles. This one is displaying our new label on there because we are changing the label on there. We also have our 4-ounce candles. They're a little bit smaller, but I like to do what we call mystery bundles with these, where you can get 3 of these for a set price. It kind of gives you don't know what you're going to get. So you will get a different kind of scent, 3 different kinds of scent from either previous collections, current collections, or upcoming collections. So it kind of gives you a overall feel of what our candles can smell like. And then for the people who don't like to burn candles and they like the candle waxes, we do carry candle waxes as well. And we also do those in mystery bundles as well. So you can get either 3 of the same, or you can be there and try our mystery candle collection and then not know what you're going to get.
I like
We
that.
do, yeah, we do deliveries all over the U.S. So you can order from us and ship it out. I always tell people, you can purchase directly through Etsy from me because I do have an Etsy account, or you can inbox me and get them at a cheaper rate through my Facebook or my Instagram. And pretty much you just let me know what you're looking for. I always tell people, go to my Etsy, look at what's available because that does have the current inventory. Send me a message and then I'll send you an invoice. You can pay, and then once your candles are paid, I will put them in a package for you and send over your tracking number. So you will always get a tracking number with each one of your purchases, whether it's through Etsy or through me personally.
Wonderful.
So I do take Cash App, Zelle, and we just got our Square Link. So we will be taking credit card payments when we do our activities outdoors as well.
Yes, because we're moving on up.
Yes. And I also wanted to add on there for the Orlando area or Central Florida area as well. I am getting back into my event coordinating business. So I am available for that as well. And you can catch me on that one on my Instagram.
Oh,
Fabulous.
congratulations. Listen,
Fabulous.
for those who are contemplating buying candles, Danessa was at the Junta Tu Corona Gala event this year in Orlando at the Botanical Gardens in Winter Park. And her candles, my daughter bought some. I got one. It burned beautiful. There was no darkness around the glass. The smell was just, my daughter got me the coconut.
No, she got you the pumpkin spice cappuccino.
Yes. And I don't like flavored candles. I like either eucalyptus, sage. I don't like fruity, none of that. But that one was so subtle and clean because I burnt it in my room. So, anyone who knows me knows I'm very organic. When I create my wax melts, when I create my lip balms and all that, so I can vouch for this candle. And I love that it's like that pure natural cream white color. So order now. Yeah, Petey, go on her account and order.
And let me add on there very quickly that I've actually just started getting into like custom orders. So I just had someone who ordered, I think it was like $300 worth of candles, and they were very specific on the scent. It wasn't something I normally carried, but I was able to get that out to them. I did tell them it was going to be about a week and a half turnaround time because I had to get the oil made and all of that stuff. But we are doing that as well. And what he wanted was my company logo on one side and then his studio on the other side. So when people came in, they were able to take something home with them, and it benefited both of us.
Awesome. That's awesome. And keep talking. Are you doing TikTok videos? We'll keep
Yes, I am doing.
Why am I thinking you were in Connecticut? Because I was gonna say, Lori, go get some for us. Why did I think that? But okay, we'll be in touch. Now, if I were to order a candle from you today to ship it to Connecticut, it won't get there for Christmas. I know that. But it
won't get there for Christmas. But I do everything same day. So you order today, the label's put together today. If I can get the post office to swing by today, I get them to swing by today. If not, it goes in the mail first thing in the morning.
Okay. All right. Then after the show, I'll connect with you.
Okay.
Great. All right. So the link is there. If you go into the comments, we'll put it again. It is a clickable link. So please make sure that you go ahead and click on it. And the nice thing about the Linktree links, which is what we use as well, it's just one touch, like one click. So you just click and everything that's there. And you can always get to Danessa in multiple ways. Usually it has the social media connections there and anything that she adds. So anything that she adds to her business, she'll be able to click on that. So you will always be able to use that link to get to anything that she's selling, whether it's the events that are coming up and any of that stuff. So wonderful.
It is. Danessa, I wish you the best. And real quick, because we got to go, or you got to go. But why do you sell your candles?
So I sell my candles to help pay for my IVF treatment. And then our long-term goal is to eventually be able to sponsor somebody else.
Fabulous.
IVF, yes. So whoever orders candles from her, you are contributing to a much larger cause that will have grand effects. So participate, mi gente.
Yep. All right, Danessa, thank you so much for coming on, and Merry Christmas. Happy
Merry
Yes.
Christmas.
to you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, beautiful.
All right. So that was wonderful.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know,
that was great.
You know what I love about her when she says, "Oh, it's for IVF," and I think it's become so natural that I love that she talks about that, like it's saying, "I'm gonna go buy a black dress and go to a party." You know, it's because that's how it should be, instead of like running around it. And to start a business for that purpose, to me, is your purpose. And a lot of us don't believe in ourselves enough to just go for it. So that's why when I met her, I was so impressed. And I told her, people need to hear your story, because a lot of people are in the shadows, so they don't receive the assistance or the support that one needs in this matter, because they're too busy thinking that it's embarrassing or nobody wants to know about it. Shit, if I change my underwear from satin red to gold lame, I want to tell everybody.
Well, I think it's you said something really, absolutely, you're right, because the IVF conversation, you're just not even that long ago, used to be, and may continue to be for some people, they don't want to talk about it because they feel that if they're having trouble, that it's because they're not enough, they cannot create the, whatever, it's whether it's on one side or the other, usually it's both sides, and that's not the case. It is just what it is. So
it is. You got to be proud of who you are. You have to be honored to be walking in your own footsteps. And I think the more self-love that we cultivate, the more self-trust that we cultivate, the more brilliant our existence in this planet is. And when we have ideas and we bounce it off people that we trust, and even those that we don't trust, just to get the reaction, because you got to feel it either way. As long as you trust yourself, it really doesn't matter who's for you or who's against you. It's an honor to have those for you, and it's an honor to have those who are against you. You know why? Because it's like they're that push on your lazy days. But what I'm saying is, if you're walking in your purpose and you truly cultivate that self-trust and self-love, that is how you keep it simple. You love yourself, you honor your decisions, and you move forward building your path towards your purpose. So, hello, Arlene and Darlene Kelly and Michelle Houston. Yay!
I know Michelle's on, and listen really quickly too. So Gail switched to her YouTube channel. So if you see that where it says Empowering Princess Podcast, also click onto her YouTube channel and follow her as well, because Gail just has absolutely fabulous guests on hers as well. So let's spread the tribe. Let's spread this.
Yes,
We would love for you to follow us and subscribe to Viva on YouTube, but also subscribe to our friend and guest. Gail's been on a couple of times at least. So Empowering Princess Podcast. So
a couple times Gail's been on and she shared some great information for all of us to absorb. So yeah, and that is why the tribe is so important. You say this all the time, badass, and it's like, when we highlight what you said, even when you are on, see, let me tell you, this team right here, I don't look at my phone when I'm on Viva. I read the notes. But the badass, she's all over the place. And then even if you just pop up, but you don't say nothing, she sees you. So she's automatically, Viva Cafe con Leche is saying hello to you. Even if you're just on the screen but didn't say anything. We try to acknowledge everybody that comes on the show, and then Lori does the footwork.
Even if you didn't mean to, you just popped in quick and said, "Shit, I don't want to be here." You're gonna,
yeah. Oh my God, they know I'm watching. Surprise, we gotcha. And the thing is that Carmen Ciberon, good morning. And the thing is that the whole purpose for the show, Two Women, is to engage with all walks of life. Most likely, we gear towards women, but we always welcome the men. I mean, we got the Byrons and the Ephraim's and the Jonathans that
I
are
miss Byron
consistently
and
on our show. And so if you're a man out there and you want to come on our show, send us an email. And the thing is that we're here to support. We're here to brag about you. We're here to share you with everyone else. And then everyone else decides to share the page. So they're sharing you with everyone else. And that is how we stay connected worldwide. So
Yep.
let's be a part of the tribe.
All right, so let's talk about our subject, because I do have kind of a hardish stop at the top of the hour. So keep it simple. So I took some notes. The quote by Steve Maraboli, I think that's how you pronounce it. Life itself is simple. It's just not easy. Life is, that's his quote. And then there was a phenomenal article that I took some notes from feeljoy.medium.com. And it says, the article is called Life is Simple, but we insist on making it complicated. And that is true. You know, life actually is quite simple. Nobody said it was easy. See, that's what people get wrong, is people say, well, life's not easy. Well, nobody said it was easy, but it is simple. We're the ones that make it complicated. And we make it complicated by, this is again from this article, which I thought was spot on, overthinking. Half the problems in our life are due to this. Instead of lamenting over the things you cannot do, the qualities you do not have, start being thankful for the things you do have. This person said, I don't know if it was a man or woman, it didn't say who actually wrote the article, but it says, like, for instance, feel the beauty. Well, we'll get to that in a second. And then I had the 7 rules of life from that poster. But this was interesting. Life is a mirror. What you see is a reflection of who you are. So if your life is complicated, that is because you're making it complicated. So keep it simple. You know, and again, this has to go with, you're looking at your 2022. You have to reflect. How was 2022 for you? Was it complicated? Like, did it not go the way you wanted it to? Was it like, were there things that were just getting in the way? What were the causes of that? That's what you have to look back at. I mean, did I make things more complicated than they needed to be? I know I do. I know that for as much work as I've done on myself, I constantly have to recheck with myself to say, oh my God, I'm making this more difficult than it needs to be. Like I really, and that is one of the things that I want to actually work on for 2023 is keeping it simple. Go ahead, Gladiator.
Well, I think, it's what I always say, we only have one life to live. And it isn't easy, but it is the longest journey we will travel. So we always got to make it to where it is pleasant. And how do you do that? By being kind to yourself, by being grateful for the things that you do have, by being a dreamer and using that imagination and trusting in self enough that if you can think it, you'll ink it and believe it and you'll achieve it, because why not? I think that everything you said is right, because people go through life making it complicated. Nothing happens to you that you have not allowed. How's that? A lot of people don't like when I say that. You know why? Because then you're forcing them to hold themselves accountable. Don't overthink. When you miss somebody, call them. What the hell? You know how many people are like, well, so-and-so hasn't called me in so long and I don't know. Well, have you called and see why they haven't called you? So, you want to meet with somebody, invite them. Call them up out of the blue. Hey, I'm popping up like slut magic today. I know I haven't spoken to you in 3 months, but I've been busy. I'm sorry. But hey, you want to make a coffee day? You want to come over tonight? I got some mimosa. Make it fun.
And with that Gladiator Guru, when you call that person and you pop up like slut magic on the phone, and if that person says, hey, oh my God, I'm so glad you called me. Yes, I could do coffee tonight. But if they go, oh, you're calling me now?
And I'll say, absolutely.
In a long time. That is a complication. That individual is making things more complicated. So part of the simplicity is also relieving yourself of complicated people. Like if you're going to keep your life simple, which is, that's what life is. You need to get rid of those people too that are making things more complicated and dramatic. So when you call that person and say, hey, I haven't spoken to you, and they're like, oh my God, I haven't either. I was thinking about you. Yes, yes, yes. Let's get together. But if you get that person that sits there and tries to guilt you or shame you for not calling them when they didn't call you either, then you have to decide for yourself, do I need this complication in my life? Because they're making things more complicated than they need to be.
Or you can ask, am I going to allow someone else's reaction to ruin or to invade my peace? So there's two ways you can go about doing that. Yeah, people are going to be assholes. They're all over the place. Like that movie, The Sixth Sense, he goes, I see dead people. Well, you can say, I see assholes.
I see assholes.
Every day, right? So what do you do when someone, because remember, when you're calling someone to say that, it is somebody you have already invited into your life. And if you're making this call, they must be important to you at some level. So when they do that, because I get that, oh, now you decided to call. Yeah, do you want to come or not? So then you throw the ball right back in their court. Do you want to come or not? And then they're like, I'm just playing. And sometimes it is the first reaction. Remember, when somebody's worried, they mask it in anger. When somebody's hurt, they'll mask it in anger or indifference. So sometimes, normally I'd be like, you know what? Okay, whatever. I know somewhere else, whom someone else I can call. But the thing is, make the effort. That's the whole thing of being intentional and grateful. You're going to make that effort. And if they say that, and then they keep on with that low vibration, and it's like, people just want to just write up their own asshole and you don't care to follow, then that's when you say, you know what? I see you're not in good space right now. Why don't you call me when you're out of this? And then you go and you do something. Because remember, people will be where they're at. You have to meet people where they're at, and then you have to decide for you. That's how you keep it simple. By saying no, by holding yourself accountable, by acknowledging your feelings, and being okay with saying, I don't want to be here. I'm not doing that. You keep your life simple by honoring yourself all the time. It's what we said on the show like
Exactly
3 shows
right.
ago. Learn how to sit in peace and stand in your values. And when you can do that, then you can say, no. You want to be understood? Explain it. You have questions? Ask. So when you reach out to somebody, and Badass Buddha is correct, I have had numerous people say the same thing to me, especially when I was doing my healing and I self-isolated for 3.5 months. And I learned discernment at its best. But guess what? Discernment at its best was when I was alone and not inviting anybody into my life. The minute I went to work and I was around all of these personalities, I was like, I'm going to catch a case. I'm going to definitely catch a case. Discernment went out the window, and I don't think so came in, and that old Margie was trying to come back. And then guess what? You have to value the work you put into yourself. And I think that's how you keep it simple. When the Badass Buddha and I came up with this show, it was all about everything we're talking about. And it may seem like we're all over the place, but we're really not, because it really is.
At least not in our heads.
How you handle your you in all the different scenarios you will face, either throughout the day or throughout the week. You must hold yourself accountable in order for you to live a life where you're keeping it simple. So if you don't like something, then state it. Don't be quiet, waiting and hoping. Somebody says, Margie, what's wrong? I hate people like that. Guess what? You'll be sitting in your shit for a while, because I'm not going to ask you, because I'm like, ugh. So that if you want something, ask for it. And if you love someone, tell them, I love you. You're not saying I'm in love with you. I want to go to bed with you right now. Let's have sex in the closet. No, you're just saying, I love you.
Unless you want to.
Share that love, whether it's with coworkers that you really honor, that are really there for you during your 8-hour shift, whether it's your co-host, whoever it may be, your child, your grandchild, just say I love you.
And I love that you said that, because keeping it simple means saying I love you unconditionally, with no expectation of receiving it back. Like if you, because that keeping it simple means that you just put yourself out there and you're saying this to let them know how you feel about that person. But if you're expecting them to say it back, then that's complicating things.
Now you're selling it. You're
Like
selling
last
it.
night, listen, last night when so many people came, I mean, I had a friend of mine, I had 3 friends that I grew up with in the neighborhood. We get together. One lives in the next town over. One lives about 30 minutes away. And the other one lives 2.5 hours away. She showed up. They all came, right? Because they all knew my dad. And but I have no problem anyway. Whenever I talk to them, I always tell them I love them. But I said I love you to so many people last night because I did. I do. It was so beautiful for them to have come. Any of them, anybody that showed up, that I felt comfortable enough to say it to. You know, like some people, I said that I love that you came. I love that you shared that. Like maybe I didn't feel like I appropriate in a way for me to say that to somebody, but I said it so much last night with no expectation of hearing it back because I needed them to know that I did. I love them. I love them that they were here. And it was beautiful. And it's so nice to be able to just do that. So I love that you said that, Gladiator Guru.
You know why I said that years ago, back in 2009. Right after my granddaughter got leukemia, I was talking to my youngest baby brother, and he said, "I am so in love with you, sister." And I stood quiet because I felt it, you know?
I love saying it like
And
that.
he thought that I was offended. He thought that I looked at it like, oh, my brother's in love with me. But for someone to say that to you and mean it, it's beautiful because we parlay all the time and we go deep into different subjects and everything. But for him to tell me, I'm so in love with you, it was so genuine. And you can say that and you can be in love with 50 million people if you choose to. Just
Yes,
choose to share it, to
I
spread it.
agree.
Because you know what? In this Mooji, did you ever hear of Mooji? Quote Moogji. He says you need nothing to be happy, but something to be sad. Nothing to be happy because it comes from you. It comes from within. Sadness comes from people, places, and things.
Wow, that's nice.
So keep that simple.
Simple.
You know, nobody makes you sad. You allow it to happen. And a lot of people blame people, places, and things. Why? So that they don't have to be held accountable. You know, so
Think
just
of it.
love yourself enough to understand yourself. Because when you understand yourself, you will know, as the badass Buddha said, those people who, when you're like, hey, I was, cleaning and I thought about you. And now of all times, that does bring you down. And if you're quick to something, right, Laura, you'll be like, what the fuck? I just called to say hi. Now you're just like totally a buzzkill or whatever the case may be. Still honor that you made an effort. See, don't let that person rob you of that moment when you decided to take a moment to call someone. We forget that. And then we get more angry at the person. No, bring it back to you. That's how you keep it simple. Oh, well, I decided to call. I took the time out to call. They must be going through something. And if you say it like that, you're not carrying negativity throughout your day. You're actually keeping it simple. You decided to make a call and be happy. They didn't receive it as you expected. Again, here we go with expectations that will sink you in a heartbeat. So then you made the call. They had something. Then you know what? Throw it on them. They must be going through something that I'm unaware of. Okay, but at least I made the call. I connected. Boom. That's it. On to your next task. Keep it simple. Only you can do that.
Yes.
We can talk about it every day, every Tuesday and Thursday. But until you decide to add that knowledge, that wisdom into your soul, you're always going to be offended. You're always going to become, what's that word I want?
Cynical?
No.
I tried. I came up with a word.
Offended, sensitive. You're always going to be sensitive. Oh, that person said this and it triggered me. No, what are you not dealing with that other people can say a word that's not
That's
a
exactly
part of
right.
you that's triggering you?
Yeah.
Like, come on. I'm so tired of hearing this. Tighten up. Put yourself
Yep.
in prayer if you need prayer.
Yep.
Seek out a sounding board friend that doesn't like to talk, but will sit there and listen and nod for you, because sometimes that's all we need in a friend. Then find that chatty ass friend that's always wants to be in your business so she can like point stuff out to you. Build a tribe that's going to benefit you and that you are going to be a part of the benefit for them. But stop blaming people for your reactions to things. You are being triggered because you have unfinished business you have to tend to.
That's
You're getting
absolutely correct.
defensive and you're being sensitive because whatever they're talking about, it's a fact that you have been denying yourself to confront. It's all about you. And I'm that life coach that's going to tell you it's all about you. I'm not going to work with you. Oh, yeah, bendito, yeah, I know people are terrible. No, tighten up. Put your big girl panties on and let's get to work on the shit you need to get done in your life so that then you can go out into the world and be the true badass you need to be.
See
That's
that,
all you do it.
and
That's how you keep it simple.
that's exactly complicating things. Like when somebody triggers you and you're going after them or the outside, you are complicating things. You, instead of really stopping and saying that, okay, why did that trigger me? Like, what do I need to work on myself? It's not saying that people like Gladi Guru said, I see assholes. It's just like I see dead people. They're everywhere. They will always be there. I love that, by the way. I just got to keep thinking about that. But it's the truth. It's like they're always there. So they're not going to change. So to keep it simple, if they want to remain and keep their lives complicated, then let them do it. But you have to look at yourself. That's why keeping it simple requires you to be quiet and go inward. It's that self-actualization piece. It's celebrating yourself, just like we've been saying in all of December. It's about really looking at things and just filtering it through your mind and making decisions, having discernment. I mean, there's been a lot of stuff that's come up in the last month for me with regards to watching my father die and then the dying part. And I've been an observer and have seen some very interesting behaviors and including my own, because I'm observing my own behaviors, but it's been really, really enlightening to me. And the question is, what am I going to do with this? And I don't want to make things more complicated. I could take all of that information and make it a hell of a lot more complicated. But my choice is to keep it simple because I've sat with myself and decided upon that. Some people do like complicated. And I want to note that Lydia put up earlier, where is it? She says, I love challenges in life, so bring it on. And I love that attitude. See, challenges get mixed up sometimes with complication, and that's not how it works. Simplicity life is still going to bring you challenges, because we said it, that quote, life itself is simple, but it's not easy. The challenges are the piece that don't make it easy, but coming at it from a simple perspective will make the challenges so much more exciting and fun. And just like Lydia's enthusiasm, she and you will be able to be like, okay, I got this. Like, this shit happens. This is going to happen. And you can expect the unexpected, but you can still keep it simple by understanding yourself. But it requires you to step inward. There's the thing from that article that I was saying, it says, feel the beauty, life becomes beautiful. See only the issues and life becomes complicated. So instead of lamenting over the things you cannot do, the qualities you do not have, start being thankful for the things you do have. There's the gratitude piece. And again, life is a mirror. What you see is a reflection of who you are. And if you are not liking who you are, that you're looking in that reflection and really being honest with yourself and not liking, then make the change. You have to decide, what is it? What was it this year that was very challenging for you and then complicated? And how much of that did you create? Which I would probably say, technically you created 100% of it, because you're in charge of keeping up boundaries and setting a tone for other people. If you let other people in and say, well, so-and-so complicated my life, that's because you let them. So you have to take 100% responsibility. And again, if those people make your life more complicated, then you have to decide discernment. You have to decide, maybe I don't need these people in my life anymore, or these situations, because it's complicating things too much. Before we know it, 10 years is going to pass. It
You
just
know what?
flies so fast.
Everything you just said is true. So try doing that, looking in a full-length mirror. Before you go out and say, well, so-and-so's not good for me. Well, look in the mirror and say, why is so-and-so not good for me? Because you know what? Our triggers, our envy, our jealousy, our insecurities really put people, with shadows hovering over them, because it's easier for us to project all of that we feel onto somebody. And so, I mean, before this healing, I tell you, I self-isolated for 3.5 months. Healing is such a tricky little fucker. And that's why a lot of people avoid it. Because they get to see the good, the bad, and the ugly about themselves. Now, I had a lot of ugly about me because I've always been a rageful person. I've been a rageful person to the point where I don't care who you are or how you bleed if you crossed me. And the thing is, to come from that to the opposite side of who I am loving being today was very difficult. It's ugly. It's ugly to have all that anger, because that anger for normal people was a really, really volcanic rage for me. That's why I had to understand it. And now it's what's wrong with it. So now people must leave out of my life. We all know that people must leave. But you know what? When you've learned to fall in love with yourself first, then you can start purging from self. You can't go in there angry. You can't approach yourself carrying all this insecurities and carrying all the dislike for people, all this judgment you have for everybody else, because it can't be you. You can't go in there with that. You have to go in with love, with saying, I got this assignment. I got to work it 8 hours a day. And be the assignment. Be that salary that you have to be challenged to do for 8 hours a day. And it's hard, and you don't want to brush your hair. You barely want to brush your teeth because it's a lot of work. But guess what? It is the best job you will hold in your lifetime. It could last you a week, or it can last you 3.5 months, like it did for me. But learn to love yourself, understand yourself, and then you can say, I carried this trait with me for this long. You're not going to like yourself in some of that part, but do it. Because if you don't, how are you going to keep it simple when you're too busy pointing the fingers at everybody else? You're not going to understand what simplicity is. You're going to be sitting in filth that you created because you're too busy wanting to do this instead of doing this.
So we're almost at the top of the hour. I'm going to read the 7 Rules of Life poster, and then we have another small business brag before we end today. So the 7 Rules of Life poster, you can find this easily on Amazon. Some of you might have it. I have it somewhere in my house. I don't know where it went to, but number 1, let it go. Never ruin a good day by thinking about a bad yesterday. Number 2, ignore them. Don't listen to others. Live a life that's empowering to you. Number 3, give it time. Time heals everything. Number 4, don't compare. The only person you should try to beat is the person you were yesterday. Number 5, stay calm. Oh, it's okay not to have everything figured out. Know in time you'll get there. Number 6, it's on you. Only you are in charge of your happiness. Number 7, smile. Life is short. Enjoy it while you have it. That is simple. And if you really look at it that way, I mean, life is simple. Keep it simple. Don't complicate it more than you need to. But you got to decide what the complications are in your life and how to get rid of them. But you have to do it by reflecting and being truthful to yourself about how you complicated it, because nobody complicated it for you. You complicated it yourself. And so if you want to really keep it simple, for those of you that really want to do it, put the effort in, it's worth it. But if you don't like simple, some people really do like drama. They like complications, but they'll just say they don't. You know what? I own it then. Say, you know what? I kind of feel like I don't feel myself unless there are complications. Then own it. Don't complain about it. Just own it. Say, yep, I like drama, so I'm going to be a part of the drama.
Yeah. What was the number second or third thing you said on that list?
Give it time or ignore
time heals.
Yeah, time heals. That was one of us. Let it go, ignore them, give it time, don't compare, stay calm, it's on you, and smile.
And I love that. And because a lot of people don't believe that time heals, and I was one of them. I said, time moves on. It doesn't care if it leaves me behind. But that's when you're in turmoil. That's when you're in pain. That's when you're not in the understanding of your journey. And what happened is time doesn't heal. What it does is it makes it less in your face. Like, as time goes on, you have to, because life goes on, right? And you're walking through it. And that's for you today, badass. You walk through it. You walk through it. You don't ever get over it. And that's what time, and I learned in the self-isolation that time, it does assist in your healing because it lessens the burden as time goes on and you become more like accepting of what has happened. So that's true. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
All right. So go ahead. Your time now that we're going to do another small business brag.
Okay. So yes, we do have a hard stop. But yes, mi gente, I told you I was coming up with something. The small business brag, it is me.
Brag away.
And it is, my journal has finally arrived. Understand her, my journey, my journey. It is a 95-page journal. And it is all, you work in it. It has the explanation what it is here. I'm going to go through it real quick. This is one of my favorite things that I put in here. Here, wrapped in a bun, cafe in hand, working your plan, you got this. And so then you carry on, and it's all about asking yourself questions. It is, I'm going to read it real quick. Understand her is a journey of connecting to the you that was silenced by the ways of your detoured path. Your best you is waiting for you to understand her. That you that has been trapped inside. Go ahead, breathe, release, and discover. Understand her is a journal. Connect, unite, and travel your journey of self-discovery together. Understand her. And when I say together, I'm talking about you in your present and the you in your yesterday that you forgot about because you became a wife, you became a mother, you became an entrepreneur, you became everything other than your true you. Because to be a wife, you had to compromise. To be a mother, it was unconditional, your children time. To go out there and work, you were displacing yourself from yourself because now you had to dress a certain way. You had to show up somewhere until they told you you could leave. All of that happens when we forget about our true being. That's why when I say pop up like slut magic in your life, meaning show up as your true self without people criticizing. So this is the journal. It's 95 pages. And the best gift of all is the last page. I'm popping up. Boop. Margarita is.
Milagros wants a price.
Yes, I'm going to do a special price right now for both. So this here is a smaller version of the journal, and in the back it has the explanation with mi nombre, and then inside it's just blank pages. Now the blank pages I only write in. Let me tell you why it's very important. I know we got to go. When you have lined paper, you are still being told how to write and where to write and how big to write. My blank pages is for you to set your soul free to doodle. You can doodle your feelings and emotions. You can draw them, you can write them, you can just do lines in different color crayons, because you have to express yourself the way you want. Unlined paper gives you that expression of freedom, the freedom of expression, however the hell you want to say it. It is $27.07 for the two. $27.07 for both of them. I'll explain that to you at another time. The price, again, everything should revolve and have a meaning for yourself. My children's birthday is the 27th and the 7th. So I'm not going to sell it for $7, but I will sell it for $27 as a duo with 7 cents. Numbers have special meaning in everything in life, because what came before the alphabet, Lori?
I don't know. You always ask
The
me
numbers.
questions. I never
The
know.
numbers.
Oh.
So
I sound like such an idiot half the time. You're like, what is it? And I'm
let
like,
me tell you. No, let me tell you something. Lori, Badass Buddha, we honor you today for showing up with that smile the day after your father's wake and the day of his funeral. We honor you, we respect you, and we send you lots and lots of light and love.
Thank you so much.
Because this is a part of life that's hard. And it's sad. And it's about sending love. Shipping, yes. I'm going to give you, for those who contact me, and I'll tell you what the shipping is. I will find that out today when I ship out the set that I have today. But you know what? So just be you. If you have to yell out, asshole, I see assholes, yell it. What they gonna say? Can you believe Lori said that? Guess what? Let's give them something to talk about. Just be you in all you do.
Thanks, Tiffany.
So when you come home, you're gonna understand. And your dad would love that with the comedian that he was.
Oh, my father would have laughed at that. Are you kidding me?
So everybody, just throughout your day, just send her some love and light. It's a hard thing. She was his caregiver. She was his baby girl.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, why'd you have to say that? So thanks, everybody. I appreciate it. And so we'll see you. So listen, Merry Christmas. It's the weekend. So have an absolutely beautiful Christmas. We will see you on Tuesday, where we're going to be talking about, I wrote it down and I said it, sit, breathe, and get ready for 2023. So it's going to be a great year. So as the sun's coming in, all of a sudden the sun came out and is blasting my face. So it feels nice. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. And yes, Merry Christmas. Celebrate, be love, send love out. And we'll see you after. We'll see you on Tuesday. All right. So from the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
And you are loved. You are loved. And you are special. And today we hold you in a different light. Mi gente, Merry Christmas. Happy Christmas Eve. Please drink all the coquito you can. I'm actually going to have mimosas. And guess what? Remember, breathe in the beauty. Breathe out the bullshit. Namaste. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.